All right, guys, I finally managed to find a tier list on all the Ben 10 villains for us to rank together. Sadly, they don't include the reboot, but that's okay. We can rank them another time.
Jesus, Joe, what's with all the Ben 10 stuff lately? I know you like little kids and all, but you're being way too obvious about it.
Donald, if you want that presidential pardon I promised you, you have to do the tier list.
Fine, I'll do the list.
Joe, should you really be handing out pardons like that? They're supposed to be used by the president to help wrongly convicted people out, not people who are clearly guilty like Donald.
Calm down, Barack. It's part of me and Donald's deal.
Deal? What deal?
Me and Joe have a deal going where if I get arrested before the election, he has to bail me out. But if he gets arrested for sniffing kids or has to step down because of his dementia, I'll either pardon him or buy him ice cream. Personally, I think he'll get arrested and need me to bail him out. But after that freak out Joe had last time, I realized that him stepping down because of his dementia is just as likely. So I added that extra bit to my side of the deal. Then Joe decided to add me doing this tier list with him and you as part of his deal.
Yep, good old Joe knows how to strike a bargain, right, Barack?
Guys, that deal is so messed up. Presidents should use their power to help the people, not themselves.
Oh, really, Barack? So were you helping the American people by bombing Middle Eastern families, or was that just you having a bad day?
Point taken. Let's do the tier list.
Yes, okay, first up is VV Arghost.
Wait, I thought he was a Secret Saturdays villain, not a Ben 10 villain.
Well, he did show up for one episode of Omniverse, so I guess the guy who made this tier list decided to include him here. Although, weirdly enough, his henchman Munya, who also showed up in that episode, seems to have been excluded.
Well, I don't really care much about Moina, but Arghost, on the other hand, has to be one of my favorite villains from the Secret Saturdays. And even though I don't like his weird new body, I do like the fact he was brought into the Ben 10 universe by Ben 10 Omniverse. I say he belongs in the A tier.
You know, Donald, I can't say I'm surprised to hear you love VV Argos, considering the fact that he is an evil celebrity reality host with millions of dollars that he uses for corrupt purposes. Just like you.
Guy who bombed the Middle East says what?
If you make that joke one more time, I'm going to go bomb Trump Tower.
Trump Tower is impenetrable. Good luck trying to take it down.
Donald, I know you just got a bunch of Mexican immigrants to build that thing for free using a bunch of cheap materials. Anyways, Joe, I also think Argos belongs in the A tier.
All right, then to the A tier he goes. Next up is Adwasha. Personally, I didn't think he was that interesting. He showed up for like 2 seconds in Omniverse, and before that only had one episode in Ultimate Alien. I'm thinking C tier. How about you guys?
Sadly, I have to agree. Other than having a great design and being a good antagonist to Charmcaster, he really didn't have much going for him.
He really should have been used more. He could have been a great rival to Gwen and Charmcaster and perhaps help the two grow closer and make Charmcaster more redeemable like the writers of Ultimate Alien originally planned. But as it stands, I think even giving him C tier is being generous, but I'm fine with it if you guys are.
All right, C tier for Adwasha. Next up is Albedo.
Oh man, I love Albedo. He's the only villain that can be used both as comic relief and as a serious antagonist towards Ben without it feeling weird.
That's because his pettiness is both funny and misguided, but also kind of justified, considering the fact that he's basically been trapped by his former idol in the body of the person he hates the most. True, he basically did it to himself, but it still helps the audience feel some sympathy for him. I do think Omniverse kind of neutered him in its second half, but seeing him reduced to an angry 10-year-old throwing a tantrum is kind of funny, even if it is a little bit sad. I say a tier for him.
I think he belongs in the S tier.
Although I see where you're coming from, Obama, I don't think Omniverse's second half completely messes up Albedo. So I'm also going to go with S tier.
All right, that's cool with me. Is that Alpha I see? If so, I think he's an easy A tier villain.
Same here. Alpha was kind of like Albedo, a messed up guy who you could kind of sympathize with despite how evil his actions were.
All right, I also think he belongs in the A tier, so I'll go ahead and place him there.
Wow, I have to say this is a nice change of pace from our usual bickering. I'm really proud of you guys. You've clearly matured from last time.
Thanks, Barack. Now let's see who's up next. Aggregor, huh? Well, that's an extremely easy D tier.
Are you out of your goddamn mind? Aggregor is the best Ben 10 villain of all time. I won't allow him to be placed into anything other than the S tier.
I really set myself up for that one.
Aggregor is the worst written villain in the entire franchise, Donald. He literally just shows up at the end of every episode and gives creepy speeches while capturing whatever plot-related MacGuffin he needs.
Oh, please, like any villain on this show isn't given plot armor at some point or another. And besides, Aggregor's plan of absorbing the power of a baby celestial sapien was genius.
Donald Aggregor literally is what started the trend of villains getting plot armor. So I absolutely can blame him. And what was so genius about his plan? Go around absorbing a bunch of different aliens so he can then find a bunch of scattered map pieces in order to go to a place where he could absorb another alien's power. Is supposed to be genius? It's ludicrously complicated. Why bother going through all that when he could just use the powers he's already got to take over the galaxy? Sure, a celestial sapien's power is much stronger, but why does he want that much power to begin with? At least with Vilgax, you could understand why he couldn't just give up on getting the Omnitrix, since there was no other weapon like it in the universe. So nothing else could grant him an army with the power to shapeshift. Whereas in Aggregor's case, he literally already has a ton of different alien powers. What difference would the celestial sapient's power make if all he wants is to take over the world?
What difference would infinite fucking power make? Did you really just ask me that, Joe?
I meant, what difference does it make to his plans? If all he wants is the power to take over the universe, then he already has it after he absorbs the Andromeda 5. Hell, even the individual map pieces have a large amount of power in them as well. Why does he specifically want the power to reshape reality? This is a question that literally doesn't have an answer because the writers never bothered to come up with one, which makes Aggregor an extremely one-dimensional villain. That's why he's going into the D tier.
Obama, back me up here. Snap some sense into this old fossil.
I'm sorry, Donald, but I can't do that.
Oh God, not you too. What is this? Attack of the Democrats? How can you both hate the best villain and ultimate alien?
Well, Donald, unlike Joe, the reason I dislike Aggregor isn't because of his plan, but because of his character. See, Aggregor has very little personality at all, which might not have been so bad, except we spend like 10 episodes following him and never really seem to learn much about him. This, in my opinion, creates a bit of a disconnect with the audience because it's hard to ever really connect with him or even really be scared of him because we just don't know this guy.
That's so not true. He has a connection to Kevin. That's right. Kevin and Aggregor have a connection because they're both the same species.
That's the stupidest fucking thing I've ever heard you say, Donald. They have a connection because they're the same race? So I guess me and you have a deep personal connection because we're both fucking human. Or maybe Batman and Joker don't have a great dynamic because of their differing characteristics. Maybe it's because they're both part of the human race. Do you hear how stupid of an idea that is, Donald? Or are you still going to try and defend your precious one-dimensional villain?
Fuck you, Joe. The only one-dimensional villain here is you. You stole my election just like when Vilgax and Kevin stole the Omnitrix.
Jesus fucking Christ, Donald, it was 3 years ago. Get over it already, you big crybaby.
Aha! You didn't even deny stealing the election. This just proves that I should be in charge.
Oh, for the love of...
And since I'm the president, I am making an executive decision to put Aggregor into the S tier.
Okay, time to play Peacemaker as usual. Donald, you're not the president anymore, and Joe just put Aggregor into the D tier already, so we can move on.
All right, man, we'll do.
This is such bullshit. How can the ultimate Chad Aggregor be placed into the D tier?
Because he fucking sucks.
Just like Melania does to me every night.
Hey, what the... How dare you?
Ha, good one, Barack. I'm laughing so hard right now.
The American people also laugh hard whenever you come out to make a speech, Joe.
Kind of a weak comeback, Don.
Yeah, Don, come on, what happened? Did Ivanka sit too hard on your balls again?
Damn, Joe, let the man live.
Man, fuck you guys.
Oh, come on, Donald, we're just having a bit of fun.
Yeah, Don, just like when you make jokes about Barack basically being a terrorist to the Middle East.
Actually, I don't find those jokes funny.
Oh, right, forgot about that. Anyways, yeah, Don, we're just kidding around.
It's cool, guys. I'm not actually mad. And even if I was, I would just go beat up Ron DeSantis. That always makes me feel better.
Oh, yeah, Michelle told me I should tell you to go a bit easier on him. His wife's been complaining about all the scars you give him.
If your wife heard some of the things he said about her, I doubt she'd be telling me to take it easy on him.
Oh, no, Don played the wife card. This isn't going to end well for poor Ron.
What exactly did Ron say about my wife, Donald?
Well, the words fat, slob, and hairy ass that looks like a certain creature with fur on it may or may not have been used by Ron in a description of your wife, Michelle.
Oh, really? Maybe I should give our dear friend Ron a visit he won't forget.
Would you like me to accompany you on this visit?
Of course, Donald. I would very much appreciate that.
Hey, Joe, is it cool if we finish this tier list up later?
Sure, man, no problem. I was going to take a nap soon anyways.
All right, then. See you.
Yeah, Joe, see you later, man.
Bye, guys. Master, they have left. I apologize for them, but it couldn't be helped.
Never mind that. Now, let us return to the null void with our prize and resume the amalgamation process.
Yes, Master. I shall have Area 51 prepare us for our journey at once. Soon the world will bow before you, and you shall use its power to return to your world and destroy all who oppose you.
Pudding for Mr. DeSantis.
Oh boy, my pudding. I can't wait to scoop it up with my fingers. I'll leave my laptop on for a bit while I go get it. It's not like it's recording anything. Oh wait, maybe it is. Oh well, who cares? I need me some pudding. Donald, what are you...
Keep my wife's name out of your goddamn mouth.
Hell yeah, Barack, kick his ass.
Oh God, please no stop. Mommy, please help.